Paco Rabanne makes some of the longest lasting fragrances that also garner the most compliments, starting with Invictus Intense. This one is less sweet than the original Invictus. They also make one called Invictus Legend with the blue juice, which is super hardcore projection that gets compliments. When I was at the mall and I first tested it out before the mall even had it, I was walking around and several ladies walked up to me and go, "Hey, come here and smell this guy. What are you wearing?" It was quite funny because it came out in 2018. Another fragrance that they make is called Paco Rabanne 1 Million, which is an old school fragrance from 2008. But instead of wearing that, I choose this one, Paco Rabanne 1 Million Privé. It's got a delectable rich orange note because it's a blood orange note. Blood oranges are often grown on the base of volcanoes or got a deep red flesh, almost like a grapefruit. This mixed with mere wet tobacco, like a hookah tobacco, makes it so nice. And on a beautiful blue sky day, this would be a perfect fragrance to wear. Look at the color of that juice. 1 Million Privé. And then if you want something more sweet that's ultimately super loud and 10 hours lasting, also you get 1 Million Lucky. This is almost leaning feminine but will garner you compliments. I even wore this from 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. and I was on an elevator. Did not respray. I even sprayed it from a little scent sprayer, and the fragrance got me a compliment in the elevator 12 hours later. And I'm like, oh my God, I forgot that I was wearing it. Some of the longest lasting fragrances in my collection. Bleu de Chanel. It's got citruses, a tiny bit of mint, and it has ISOE Super. What does that mean? It's a chemical compound that makes the fragrance last and project like a mofo. This thing is intense. On 8 to 10 hours on skin, on clothes, forget about it. Lasts forever. Jasmine is in here. That ISO is in here. It's a fragrance booster. It's got some incense in it that makes all the notes inside here come out, and you can clearly smell them all. It's a dense citrus fragrance. As this list continues, I got some Diesel, some Dior, some more Chanel, and even the fragrance list goes from good to great with the most mass appealing ones towards the end. This is called Chanel Anateas. If you want something loud, super long lasting, incredible scent sillage, sweet, deep, musky, earthy fragrance with citruses and coriander. How long did this thing last on me? 10 hours. How long does it project and give you a scent bubble? So much it'll make everyone around you mad. Similar scent cheaper to Chanel Anateas would be called Aramis 900 or Boucheron by Jaipur Boucheron. And if you even want to go cheaper than that, find yourself something called One Man Show, which has the same citrus opening, the same floral mids. The floral mids in this fragrance is what calms it down and makes it beautiful, and it does have the same oak moss ending. Next fragrance, Diesel Fuel for Life, $40 by Jacques Cavalier. You have grapefruit. Nice smells like licorice and raspberry and lavender. Grapefruit, licorice, raspberry, and lavender. 7 to 8 hours is easy for this cool looking bottle. It's got the zip up thing on here. It's a fresh, fruity, smooth vibe that 19-year-old to 90-year-old can buy. If you don't want to pay $40, find this thing called Moschino Sailing. It's similar to this for $20. Here's a fragrance that boggles my mind. Every single time I wear it, it's called Givenchy Eau de Parfum Gentleman. Every time I wear it, I forget that I have it on, and even 15, 18 hours later, I smell myself and I'm thinking, what is that gorgeous smell? And basically, you have the Eau de Parfum. It's a sweet fragrance, but underneath there's an essence of pepper in it that makes it special. It's got some expensive balsam woods, and people say it kind of smells like the Dior Homme Intense, and people say it smells like Valentino Uomo, but ultimately, this is a mofo, baby. I would highly recommend this. You've got the floral oriental vanilla notes coming in. It's got woody notes in it, and that essence of pepper I love. Another fragrance that's one of the cheapest fragrances on the list if you want long-lasting fragrances for $20, Youp Homme is a cinnamon vanilla sweet fragrance that reminds people of Mont Blanc Individuel. They also reminds people of a very expensive fragrance called Creed Santal, and this only costs $20. It's still popular to this day. Here's a fragrance that's simply the best, that you could probably wear this every day for life. It's called Dior Homme Intense because it's so calming and relaxing. It's got a cacao note mixed with iris, and to get compliments out the yin yang of this, it's just a beautiful beautifully composed, tight composition. And when the thing opens up like 3-4 hours later, the fragrance is just the most beautiful scent I've ever experienced. And I can't stand it that I have to wait 4 hours to get to that point. But then again, and then you forget, you go about your day and you're like, what does that smell so good? And sometimes I can't remember what did I wear because there's so many fragrances. But this is the bomb as far as scent and compliments and longevity. Forget about it. Dior Homme Intense is like an $80 fragrance. The next fragrance on the list is Azzaro's Wanted by Night. If you're like a gangster type dude, mysterious leather jacket person, this would be beautiful for you. Lasting power is great. It also has the ISOE super molecule in it. It also has ambroxan. What does that mean? It just means that the fragrance projects like crazy and lasts a long time on clothes. Some people told me it lasted more than 2 days. On skin, 8 to 12 hours. The price of $40 to $50 versus the performance is outstanding. The next fragrance is called Tom Ford's Black Orchid, and that fragrance is a spicy dark floral with some chocolate notes in it, and it's a lovely sleek black box. Notice how they all line up, the grooves on here. Let's get you a close-up on that. Tom Ford Black Orchid can be worn by both men or women. The performance is outstanding. In the air when you're walking around, they say you are walking around a convention or at work in the office, whatever you're doing, the fragrance is super. Like people go, what are you wearing? And it's dark and mysterious, and they don't have to know what you're wearing. But a similar scent on this. This is expensive, like $170 at Macy's department stores, United States. This is a similar scent. It's called Deep Scents if you can find it. It's plainly called Deep Scents. It's about a $40 fragrance. The next fragrance is a Champions League fragrance. As I told you, the fragrance list gets better and better, and it's called Why. Eau de Parfum. You got apple notes, ginger notes. It's got some florals, some woods. It has sage, fresh sage in here. Ultimately, this thing is very comfortable to wear. It makes you feel really good and sporty, and it's so versatile. You could wear it with a shirt, you could wear it with a suit, you could wear it with a track jacket, hoodie, t-shirt, however you want. Actually, the Eau de Parfum slightly more upscale. They do make Y Intense, the Y Live, which is a little bit more casual, but you can still wear this in all versatile situations, and that's what I love about it. The ladies' reaction on this is impressive, and on the fresh side, it's a hardcore fragrance that's fresh and it lasts long. You just can't get any better than that. It dries to a woody sage vetiver. Well, how long did this last me? 10 hours long. How old can you be to wear this? 18 and up. How does that sound for you? The next one is called Stronger With You by Emporio Armani. This is just a beautiful fragrance that the price has recently dropped in a little bit, and it's more affordable. Emporio Armani gets you compliments. It's one of the most complimented fragrances I've ever owned. I've had stories where people wore this fragrance to bars and grills and restaurants, and men that hang out at the bar stool, whatever, women were buying him shots, and then just so they can say, I need to know what fragrance you're wearing. Sometimes the guy is so cool, he can get her number or make other things happen. Sometimes not. Other than that, they really wanted to know. Maybe they want to buy it for their husband or boyfriend, or they just said, you smell so good. Personally, I also wore this in Las Vegas at the 100-degree weather, but I was inside a very much air-conditioned auditorium with huge ceilings, and I got 7 probably compliments on this fragrance the day I wore it, and I sprayed it 7 times that day. It's got cedar notes, sage, and it finishes off with a deep gourmand style. Gourmand means kind of like a dessert, impressive vanilla, like a candied chestnut smell. A wooded, sugared spice ending. It also has sage that gives it a touch of mint inside here. It also has pink pepper, which gives it spice and a touch of floral. 10 hours long lasting on this one. And ages for this, I'm going to pump it up to age 23, 24 and up. It's a little bit more mature, but it is still versatile. I'd wear it to work. Just 2 sprays though, but you can wear it to work and you will get noticed. Fragrance, this thing costs about $80. There's a fragrance called Wonder of You that's exactly the same similar scent to this, that exactly lasts just as long as that. I'm going to put the link down below because I found a special price. It's like under 40, right around $40 or so, and it lasted eternally. Such a good fragrance. The next fragrance is called Spice Bomb Extreme. Fragrance is Spice Bomb Extreme, made by Victor and Rolf. I named my German Shepherd Victor after this fragrance. I wore this one day on my first time wearing it. I put it on at 7 a.m. and I went to someone's housewarming party where they just bought a house. It was a nice, young, trendy female, and she kept sitting by me all night. I was there at 5 p.m., so you're talking about almost 12 hours later, and she goes, "Oh my God, you smell so good." And she was hugging me, and she was all over me, and let's just say that it was a great night for me. Main note in here is vanilla and tobacco, and it's got some sprinkles of pepper in it and spices. Here's a fragrance I want you to take and throw it in the trash. It's called Acqua di Gio Armani. Why do I say that? Well, back in the 90s and early 2000s, this was a Hall of Fame fragrance that people would come up to me and go, "Oh my God, what are you wearing?" I was all over restaurants, bars, Applebee's. I got so many compliments, I didn't even realize I was getting compliments. I didn't even expect them. It was just a normal thing. And of course, it did do the trick and had many amazing nights because of this. But now the performance is lacking. So I found you this one called Acqua di Gio Profumo. I can only spray 2 to 3 sprays on this. Some people can spray more. But this is a little bit more masculine, more amped up, and definitely longer lasting than that one. So this one, Acqua di Gio Profumo, crushes it. Now, if you want one of the most complimented fragrances ever made, you'll find this thing called Jean Paul Gaultier Ultra Male, but it's very, very hard to find now, and it's about $100. And if you can afford $33, this is called 9 p.m. It's exactly the same smell as this, exactly the same longevity, 8 to 10 hours, and it actually projects so hardcore it might give you a headache or make you sick. If you can handle 3 sprays, I dare you to spray that. Question of the day today is, are you familiar with any of these fragrances? Comment down below to help others with your experience with any of these fragrances or something else that's a long-lasting designer fragrance so others can smell great, long-lasting for life. See you on the next video. Peace and love.